Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's GameHammer Extra, and this week we want to talk about our top PlayStation 2 games. Now, this is going to be from a range of about 1,300 games that we've got here on the various shelves, as you can see behind me. We've played them all, and we're going to give you our opinion on what we think are some of the top games for the PlayStation 2, which is a brilliant console. So let's get straight to it. Silent Hill 2. Now, I never played this on PlayStation 2 when it first came out. I played the Xbox version, which came out again on PlayStation 2 as the director's cut. But even with this original version on PS2, it's still an amazing game. It's one of the best survival horror experiences I have ever played through. The storyline is fantastic. The characters still have that cheesy Silent Hill dialogue, and the control system is not perfect. I hated the section where James is rowing because it's just so annoyingly long and boring as all hell, but for the most part I loved it. I loved the game, and it's one of very few Silent Hill games where I've actually managed to get to the end and wanted to finish it. A lot of the other ones you get to near the end and you just can't be bothered with the final boss or the set piece that they're doing because it's just obnoxious. But Silent Hill 2 is amazing, so I highly recommend this one. Okay, Odin Sphere is one of the best games I've picked up very recently. It's not one I had back in the day, but people talked about it so much that I had to track it down, and you know what? I'm glad I did. It's a fantastic brawler. It's a side-scrolling brawler, basically, but the entire level that you're on is a circle, so you can run around and round, left and right, and you'll get to the same points either way. It's got good special moves, it's got amazing animation and art design. I love it. It's fantastic. I recommend that you give it a try because it's a lot of fun, it's cute, and it's really good. It's responsive, it's got good special moves. I can't fault it, it's great. Okay, do I really need to say much about Super Buster Move? This is one of those classic arcade games. It's Puzzle Bobble given a new spin. It's bright, it's colourful. I'm running it as we speak in the background, so you can probably hear a whirring because I can't stop playing this game. It's fantastic, I love it. Give it a try, you'll love it too. If you like puzzle games, it is one of the best. Bright, colourful, very responsive, very fun to play. It's just a one that you pick up, play for a few minutes, and put down, then come back and decide, actually no, I want a few more minutes. I love it, it's fantastic, and it's cheap. Go and get yourself a copy, you will not regret it. Oh man, Disgaea. Disgaea is one of those games that I bought because Penny Arcade kept putting up these cartoons about the penguins. I said, "Pretty dude," and I had to know what it was about. And you know what? I am so glad that I checked. This is a fantastic tactical RPG. It's one of those games where you sit down and think, well, I'll give it a try because it looks reasonably easy to pick up. And yeah, it's reasonably easy to pick up, but there's so much depth to it. I have not got through this game yet, and I don't begrudge that because I just keep going back in and leveling up my weapons by sending my team inside the weapon to fight monsters that exist inside my weapon, which means that if I defeat those monsters, the weapon attacks with more damage or something like that. It's weird. You play as this arrogant git, and you can create characters who are almost as powerful as him, which is amazing because it's one of those where, yeah, you've got a single protagonist and he drives the plot, but he's not the greatest person ever, which means that he's more personable and you can relate to him better. More than that, it's just hilarious. Everything is wacky. It's like a pantomime in game form. It's weird, but there's a lot of depth to it. There's a lot of tactical, forward-thinking, and puzzle solving. It's like playing chess. It's that kind of thing. It's that kind of level of thought that you need to put into some of these situations. Plus, it's chess with exploding devil penguins. What more can you ask for? It's just great. Get a copy if you see it. It is a little bit expensive these days because people want it, and those that have got it, keep it and don't pass it on because you want to keep playing. But if you get a chance, play it. Get it, play it. It's wonderful. You'll not regret it. Unless you don't like tactical RPGs. Now, Silent Hill is the pinnacle of the survival horrors for the PS2 era, but if you took Silent Hill and mixed it with Final Fantasy, you would get this. Shadow Hearts. It's amazing. It's an RPG in the style of Final Fantasy, but it has horror elements from Lovecraft, which puts it straight into Silent Hill territory. It is the love child of Final Fantasy and Silent Hill, and it is fantastic. It has this one feature way above what comes on Final Fantasy, and it's the Judgment Ring. The ability to actually control the level of damage you do by hitting on a little minigame a specific spot on a ring. It sounds simple, it's actually not as simple as you would think. And as a result, combat is less random. It feels more like you're actually playing a game rather than watching a cutscene with a couple of bits where you make a decision. It's not a choose-your-own-adventure style of combat. You actually feel like you're taking part, which is great. It puts it way above Final Fantasy in my view. So, I love this, and plus the plotline is great. It's Lovecraftian, but it's set during the war, which makes it feel more real. And as a result, it's fantastic. What can I say? Moving away from standard RPGs is a game based on an RPG. It's Dungeons & Dragons, Forgotten Realms, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. Now that's a fair amount to say. So what normally gets said is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It's a fantastic hack and slash. It's basically a brawler disguised as an RPG, and it is superb. I've played this on Xbox, I've played it on PlayStation 2, originally got it on Xbox and loved it to bits. It's like if you took Diablo and put Forgotten Realms on top of it, this is what you get. It's an amazing game with an awful lot of appeal for coming back and trying with different classes and different races. It is superb. There's a lot of gameplay in here, so if you can get yourself a copy of this, it is sometimes hard to find because people who have it don't tend to want to give it up. But if you can get yourself a copy of it, you've got hundreds of hours of gameplay in front of you, and I highly recommend it. Moving on from a game full of wizards to actual pinball wizards, it's Gottlieb Pinball Classics. Now this is one of those games where you don't buy it to try and sit down and complete it. You buy it because you know you're going to keep coming back to it and playing the different tables and having an awful lot of fun. It's a proper pinball simulation. Not like the standard computer pinball games where the ball is far too fast and would actually damage the machine if it was a real machine going at that speed. This is a replication of Gottlieb's old pinball games, some of its classic pinball tables. It's got a range of different tables from a range of different times, from early 70s and 60s pinball games right the way through to the modern ones. It is superb. The best way to play it is probably to give it a try on what they call the Gottlieb Challenge, where you try and play all of the tables one after the other. And then it gives you some credits that you can use in its arcade area to play whatever table you want. That's the only downside to it in my view, because if you want to just sit down and play a certain table, you've got to have got the credits to do it. I would prefer if the tables were unlocked fully right from the start and you could just pick whichever table you wanted, but this is the way they presented it, so that's how I do it. I play a load of them to get a load of credit, and then I play whatever table I want. Love it though. Every time I come to sit down to it, I can lose an hour or 2 hours just on a single table. It is a lot of fun, and if you like pinball, I think you'll like this one. No pinball wizards in this game, although the Who are in it. It's Rock Band, and it's probably the best, in my view, of all of the guitar-based rhythm games that are on the PlayStation 2, because it's not just guitar. You've got your microphone, and you've got the drum kit as well. It's fantastic. It's a good party game, and it's a good single-player experience. Personally, I've played it so much that I'm pretty much playing most of this in my sleep, and I love it. I still come back to it even now. It's one of those games that you're just going to be able to play again and again and again, especially at parties. It's fantastic. It should be part of your collection. So there you go. Rock Band. Go and get it. Okay, from fun party game to fun driving game, this is Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, and it is probably the best racing game on the PS2 if you're wanting something that doesn't replicate actual driving. It replicates instead the fun and the pleasure of driving. It is a fantastic game. I've been playing Outrun since I first saw it in the arcades back in the 80s, and it's just amazing. I've had it on pretty much every system I could get my hands on, including Game Gear, even the Amstrad. We played it on that, and my goodness, never played the Amstrad version of Outrun. But Outrun 2006 is amazing. It's the one that I always wanted it to be because it's easy to pick up and play. It has unlockables, the music is fantastic, the graphics are fantastic, the gameplay is amazing, And I actually had a copy of Outrun 2 on my Xbox, so the version I picked up because it had the enhanced graphics compared to everything else. But I played it so much, the disc overheated and delaminated, so I ended up having to buy a second copy. So I bought Outrun 2 twice, and Outrun 2006 only the once, thankfully. But it is such a good game, I cannot recommend it highly enough. But let's stick with driving games for the moment, because this one I think everyone has heard of and everyone loves. It is widely regarded as one of the best games ever made, and it is Burnout 3 Takedown. I love this game so much. You would not believe how much I love this. To the point where I put it into my PlayStation to test it when I bought it, just to make sure the disc worked. And a couple of hours later I realised I should probably get back to work. It's just that good a game that the moment you pick it up and play it, you will be hooked. It's fantastic. Go out and try it. It's not the same kind of game as Outrun. It is a completely different driving experience, and as a result, they can sit side by side on this list quite happily. I love this game. I love the other one. I love this game so much as well. So, I can't recommend it highly enough. Go and try it. You will love it too. We're moving on to something a bit different now. This goes back to the old days of gaming, but not quite the same as the originals. I will explain that in a moment. It is Maximo, and it's a 3D brawler with platforming elements, but it's basically Ghosts and Goblins in 3D. It's that kind of level of difficulty too. This game is immensely hard. I love it, but my goodness, it loves to punish you. So yeah, you'll have a great time if you play it, but my goodness, it's so hard. So do save, and save often. Okay, before we get to my final choice, I'm going to bring in some honourable mentions, let's put it that way. These are great games, but they didn't quite fit the first list that we've got here. So let's have a look at them now, and then we'll get back to our final choice. Okay, here we are again, the final pick for the top PlayStation 2 games that you really must play and enjoy. It is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This game, I have lost days of my life to it, and I do not begrudge it. It is such a good game. There's so much to see and so much to do and so many things to blow up. It is so much fun. There are only a couple of problems with it, and it's all down to flying. This game is designed for cars, and it's designed for on-foot action, but they've stuck a few remote-controlled planes in here and a few flight tutorials, let's put it that way, but they're unskippable, you have to do them, and it slows the game down immensely. I didn't like those sections. I actually skipped the remote control planes when I could, because oh my goodness, they're awful. But the rest of the game is immensely fun. My other half and I have played this so much together, and we love every single minute of it. The radio stations are great, the storyline is superb, and I just love it. Can't recommend it enough. It is the best-selling game in the PS2 for a reason, and if you don't have this in your collection, I recommend you go and remedy that problem right now. So there you go, there's our top selection of PlayStation 2 games. Now, we've probably left out your personal favourite, and if we have, do let us know in the comments section below, and you never know, it might turn up in the next set of top PlayStation games that we do. But anyway, until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this, and if you did, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know a good game when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos, because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching GameHammer Extra on the Knob Mouse channel, and I'll see you later.